You're doing it wrong. Why are you doing it that way? All right, welcome to another episode of the Urban Garden 2020. So I wanted to take a few minutes and go over a few things. And the first, or the biggest thing, the subject of the video is, are you doing it right or doing it wrong? Well, the good news and bad news is there isn't a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. There are many ways to do things. Just like in life, there are so many varieties and so many variations that you can't just narrow it down to one thing works. And a lot of it can be due to your environment, the weather, your location and region. So someone growing in California, depending on what area of California you're in, is going to have a dramatically different approach to their growing as opposed to someone in Alabama here. Or if you're, on the northwest, side of the country and you're in Oregon or Washington, you're going to have a much different approach than someone in, just a little bit south in Utah, Arizona, different parts of Colorado, New Mexico. So there isn't always a right way and wrong way. There are some tried and true methods. There are some good tips about how to feed your plants, how to start your seeds. But again, there are many different approaches. You can start them in a paper towel. Some people put them in a cup of water. Some people put them in a starter pod or starter tray, and some people just direct sow them into a container or the ground. And yes, if you're farming large sections of acreage or whatever, direct sowing is the way to go. But again, that's not necessarily a tried and true method. A lot of pine trees are, individually, the little seedling or sprout, sapling, searching for the word, it was up here somewhere. The sapling, they grow all these little saplings in more confined areas, and then they spread them out and they put them in big bags, and people just go through pushing them in the ground, and the pine trees grow. So there are a lot of different ways to do things. So if you think you have a good approach or good way to do something, don't worry about it if somebody else is doing it differently. And the same thing, if you're doing something that just sucks and you are having a hard go at it, definitely try a different approach. If it doesn't work for you and you watched a video online, like one of my videos where I show you how to start a seed, or tell you about how I make compost or mulch or whatever. If you try it and it doesn't work, try it again. Don't give up on your first try. But if it's just not working out and you're struggling with it, try a different approach, mix it up. I am very successful in certain methods and I still mix it up. I'll change things, just to see if something works better. So there isn't always this golden rule to doing things. Yes, there are some methods that work so much better than others. But again, depends on your area. It depends on what you're growing. If you're growing corn, you're going to have more rows and different spacing than if you're growing tomatoes or whatnot. So we are here. It is spring. So spring is full on. There, if you watch some of the pictures, there's the azaleas are in bloom. A lot of the wildflowers are in bloom. The bees are going at it. They're just collecting pollen, honey, all their nectar, all their stuff, and it is full on growth season. So hopefully we don't have another cool spell. We don't have another frost or cold snap, whatever. But, I walked out on the front porch, and as I walked across, you just see this sheen of yellow and these big, thick piles of pollen just everywhere. And, my nose is a little sniffly today, a little runny, and, I've been outside working, so it's kind of it's allergy season, it's pollen season, it's grow season. So if you are ready to put stuff out, I recommend, if you haven't already started your starter trays, get them going. If you haven't gotten, your cooler stuff, your beans, your peas, a lot of your cold weather stuff, or stuff that can take little bit cooler weather, get started with it. Your tomatoes, I think you're safe. I've just put out a bunch of tomatoes. I put out several tomatoes, some artichokes, some eggplants, some squash. I did leave some okra. I did leave some in the starter trays. I put out about half. So I'm going to let the ones in the starter trays go another week or two, then put them out. And I'm trying to organize my raised bed and get everything planted, the stuff that's going to grow tall and the stuff that's going to be bushy, all kind of worked into the raised bed. So that's where we're at today. Again, it doesn't matter if you're doing raised beds, if you're doing containers, whatever you're doing. If you have a greenhouse and you've got hydroponics set up in it, there's no tried or true method that's absolute for everyone. So just watch YouTube videos, go through if it's not something's not working for you, and see different approaches to doing things. That's one thing with gardening. It's kind of a science and art. Yes, there are definites to certain things. You're definitely going to need nitrogen, potassium. My mind went blank, but anyway, you're going to need your nutrients, your micronutrients, your macronutrients. You're going to need all of that for the plant to grow and thrive. Phosphates, that's what I was looking for. It finally popped in. But there are certain things, yes, you have to have. But there are other variables that are going to change, depending on your setup. If you're growing in dirt, there are certain things you're going to do. If you're growing in cocoa, or cocoa coir, which is rare around here. I don't know anyone that grows in cocoa coir. I just use dirt in containers, and I go to the Home Depot, Lowe's, go down to the Hueytown Hardware, get fertilizer. I go to there's a landscaping company down the road I go to and get just garden soil or topsoil and put out, and that's what I use. If you're growing something that needs a little more specialty soil or nutrients or whatever, I've ordered some stuff online and there were more specialty nutrients, but I think it was really a waste of money compared to different things. I did get some organic like top dress fertilizer from Gaia Green, I think, that I saw somebody using, and it actually I got a couple of bulk bags and it seems to be working well. But I did go to one of the box stores and get something similar that was cheaper, and it seems to be working just as well. So I'm going to mix it in and just kind of compare and see what does the best for me. And that's what you have to do. You have to do what works best for you. If I do something, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you, depending on where you're at. Now, yes, if we have similar environments, we're growing similar varieties of vegetables or tomatoes, whatever, and we have similar soil conditions, we should get the same results. But it's not all science. Some of it's just art. Some of it's just I've got a green thumb and I stick something in the ground and it grows. And why that happens for some people, I don't know. I have to do a little research into it, and I have to do a little practice. I've killed dozens of plants thinking I knew what I was doing and I didn't. Or I had them grow and they were green and looked great, and then no tomatoes. Where are they at? I don't know. I got a few here and there. Last year, I thought I had a setup great for my tomatoes in my raised bed, and I really did not, because I had huge plants and they were growing everywhere, and it just didn't work out. So I'm hoping my raised bed works a little differently this year. I still have my containers going, tomatoes, peppers, and whatnot. Pumpkins this year, we're doing pumpkins. We did the sunflowers again, so come about mid to late summer, that's going to be just popping and awesome. As you saw in the pictures, the azaleas are popping. A lot of the daffodils, gladiolas, and all are just sprouting up and popping up. Well, the daffodils already have popped up, but a lot of the lilies are popped up. My crepe myrtles are starting to bush out, and we're going to do this fall a pruning video for the crepe myrtles, or some people call them crepe murders because it looks like you murder them when you trim them back, but that promotes new growth and they bloom on the new growth, so it's great for crepe myrtles. So there are lots of different varieties, different ways to do things depending on what you're growing, your environment, and everything. So just a word of advice, if something's not working for you, try something else. Look up a video, research. If something's working great for you, tell others about it. Don't try to, I try to show as much as I can, or I think I am. I'm going to try to get a little more in depth in the different, processes and some of the very detailed things that I do, and try to get those in videos and film throughout this year. So anyway, just take a look at the plants and stuff in the video. If you have any questions, leave in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe, please, and just keep digging it. Enjoy the spring, enjoy getting out and growing, enjoy everything that Mother Nature, God, has provided for us. Anyway, be safe, love one another, and keep digging it. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.